Hello and welcome back to On the Map Challenge Survival 4X. It is now August 1, Year 4. We've got ourselves some green beans to harvest and some red beet to get in. So let's jump in, let's go. So first things first, I've come in to edit this video and my audio isn't there. So I'm having to put this in post, which I really hate doing. So we might end up getting a lot more time lapse or something like that than I'd planned to do. I hadn't recorded it with time lapses in mind, so I don't know how this is going to turn out. This is only the first half that I've recorded. I've spent 4.5 hours this morning on the first half of the video, so I wasn't going to scrap it because I haven't got the time to do it again. I don't think my back would hold out for me to do it again. But between episodes, I've moved all the bales down here and sold the old pasture that was at the top. I've purchased the the washer, as you can see, and I thought, since we've been doing the grains and a lot of the grains and the wood chipping in this trailer, since we're now going to be doing some vegetables, it would be a good idea to give it a good clean and whatnot, and it would also show up some of the wear that we might have on our beautiful trailer. So yeah, we've got to give it a clean. Now, throughout the next sort of few episodes, we're going to be doing our red beet harvest, and we're going to be looking to doing regulars on carrots and probably onions, the parsnips, that's the other one. So we're going to be needing to get a new trailer soon, because I don't want to just use the little trailer when we've got those pallets to do. So we'll be looking to have a little change up as well in that department. As you can see, we are all fresh and clean. Let's head up to the store and get ourselves our harvester. So up at the store in vehicles, we need to go down to, I believe it's under vegetable or special crops, I think it is. Root crops, vegetable crops. There we are. Green bean harvester. That's the jobby. $500,000 for one of these, so we're not going to be able to buy one. They are pretty expensive. We will be looking to lease this one. Now, I did say at the time that we probably needed to. And in hindsight now, knowing that we really did need to put the GPS on there because we're going to need that. I thought leasing costs were going to be higher initially than what they are. They're not too bad when we sort of get going. But it's yeah, we've got all of August and September to do the leasing. I did consider financing it, but we nearly paid off our debts. We don't want to be adding to it, so we're going to go for the lease. As you can see, it's going to cost us $26,000, and it's $10,000 per hour that we lease it, with $5,000 per day, and a 10 grand base cost that we should get back afterwards. But we'll get this one. So yeah, I'll just quickly show you our finances. As you can see, the $500,000 loan that we had, and we've only got 62 grand left to pay, which is good. So, you know, 6-7 months we'll be debt free. Lovely job. So let's head over and have a look at it. The BP2140E. Lovely little jobby. I do like these. It's been a whole year. The game's been out for a year. We haven't touched any of the new crops yet. Even in private saves, I haven't touched any new crops. So this is a very first for me. Just have a little look at the detail there. It is really annoying that the original audio isn't there. But there we are. Looks very nice inside. Thought we'd have a little look on the inside. We do have the GPS, but that doesn't make much difference when the map's that big and the layout is just a little bit off from where the roads would be. Anyway, we've sort of covered this in the other GPS, but in other maps that is really handy. As you see, once we get going, it soon zooms in for us. Now the green bean harvester doesn't go very quick. Maximum speed of 16 miles an hour. I think its working speed was 6 miles an hour, so it's quite slow. Like I say, I do think that 2 would definitely have been better for us here. But I'm not very good with the whole course play thing and setting up multiple workers. We're going to have to deal with that soon. There are other options available, but you know what, we're going to use the real one. We're going to use the stuff that came with the game before we look at any modded type stuff. And you know, further along the lines, once we've got multiple fields of these veggie crops going, and we're trying to get a lot of them in. Maybe we'll look at something that's maybe a bit naughtier that we have going on in the background when we've got our workers doing things. When it's just us, we want to use the real stuff. We want to have a taste of it for what it's supposed to be like. So we'll get it unfolded. We'll have a little look at it in motion. It's only just a little motion there. And then as we test the tip, because I wasn't sure how the pipe was going to work on it. It sort of lifts and then has the conveyor pipe, which is pretty cool. Really nice animation. Again, it's really good detail on this. For Giant's work is pretty good, isn't it? And the header there, nice and easy. Got my lights on because we like lights. We like lights even during the day. We've got to have our working lights on. We're just going to get ourselves on, and then we'll look to set up a course play. We'll just get a little bit of it in. Now, I'm not quite sure what those bits are that come out. If you know what they are, let me know. Is that just where they generate a little bit of air pressure or something come through there? Or is it just for capacity? I'm not sure what that is at all. We got little green beans coming in. Very nice. Again, these aren't a very wide pickup either. Just a few meters. But it does look good there. Seeing the beans shoot out the back. But now we're on. We'll look to get ourselves a GPS route set up. Now, it did give us 5 as an automatic to start with, but I think with my turn in 6 is what we went for. 6 would be a better option. I think I probably should have gone for more. Again, just for me. Driver error. There's always a lot of driver error. And off we go. Our first new crop harvest proper underway now. And for me, this is why I don't like doing the post recording and then adding in commentary, because I would have had a natural flow like I do and been chatting about stuff, what we were seeing, what we were doing, because it was all very new and very fresh, and I was enjoying it. And then now, as I sit here, I'm just more disappointed that my audio isn't there than being able to focus on remembering, one, what I said and what I would like to say again. But I don't want to just jump forward and sort of skip it, because this was the big thing, wasn't it? This was our big first harvest. But it's going to take a while. Just trying to have a little look at what the yield was. The yield was pretty good, I think. In this part of the field, despite the fact that we have sort of poor soil, we're looking at 98%, and we often struggle, don't we? Let's be fair, often struggle with the yield. So 98% is not too bad. This is where we get our first little kink in the field. I want to replow these. I think after this crop I will replow it. Like fully replow the field and do something about that kink there. And then we have one further up which you just now see come into shot, where I was trying to do my landscape and I encroached on the field a little bit. So I want to correct them because that is a little bit annoying. But it does look nice. Getting out here doing it. The farm in the distance is looking good as well. We are making progress. Slow, but we are making progress. But I think because of the cost of the machines and the inevitable leasing costs that we'll probably get to later on, I don't know. I'm not sure if I can sit here for 40 minutes and talk to myself again. But yeah, the leasing costs start to add up. And this is where again, this is where it annoys me again in post, because I know what I said later on, and it's, because I was really looking forward to this being a cost-effective thing. At this point, didn't know how much money we would make, and I'd completely forgotten. In my head, I'd completely forgotten about the hourly cost. And like I say, I sat here for 4 hours on this field. This was a 4-hour harvest, so. yeah, it took quite some time. So that was 40 grand that we spent on leasing, and the money, although the money for this is good, when you take 40 grand out of anything, that's a lot of money that you're losing. Up here I was saying that I think we might, and I was saying because I want to change up that bit of field down the bottom anyway, but we've got a lot of fields like this where when I start to use a bit of courseplay or worker, or even for myself sometimes, when we turn in on these corners, even though we set for rounder corners, the courseplay and I miss a good chunk of the corner, especially when it's like harvesting on the grass behind us, which in the map says that it is ready to harvest, but it isn't. It's 3 or 4 on stages, so I did wonder about getting a worker on there and doing some harvesting, but that's not happening now because it's not ready. I did check. But yeah, I might go around and adjust some of the fields after they've been harvested on, or before we go and do our next lot of seed and plant, and even on the grass meadow, because that's now a job that's quite often a worker or a courseplay worker to do. And if I don't set it with round headlands and round corners, it clips the fence all the time, and I have to keep stopping and correcting it and getting it back on track. And if I set it with round corners, although the field has round corners, courseplay wants to do them much tighter and much rounder, so we end up not harvesting a bit of grass, and it's not a lot, but when we're going around afterwards and collecting bales and things like that, it just looks a bit scruffy when there's bits of our harvestable grass or our planted grass still there. So I might change that up and just give them a little bit of a paint and a touch up and redo. But I want to replant that meadow anyway, so we'll probably look into doing that. But I think what I'll do now to save even more of my waffling is let us keep going around, and we will come back probably for our first harvest. That would make sense. Oh, first harvest for our first empty. See where we are on the headland. So we're doing 6 headlands, and we are at 25%, and we're about halfway round. So we'll probably get a second. I'm trying to remember now. Probably a second headland. I think we get a second headland in. Let's come back and see where we're at. So we have our first hopper full of green beans. Coming around with our freshly cleaned Bailey and New Holland. We almost made 2 full headlands, which isn't too bad. That's what I mean when I say earlier on, like the yield isn't too bad, and that's a 15,000 litre hopper. I think it's like 34,000 litre trailer, so we can fit a couple of these in. So we're going to get, or we won't even get the whole headland, the whole 6 headlands in one trailer. So I think that's pretty good. I don't think that's a bad yield for us. Just move this out of the way for a bit. Nice little animation again. It got dirty really quickly. It's ever so dirty. Yeah, those bits go in and out when you start the harvester. It's not even to do with the lowering or the raising, or even part of the unfolding. When you start the harvester, those bits on the side come out. Need to find out what they're called and what it's for, why it does it. So since it's 15,000 litres, and 2 of those will be 30,000 litres, so rather than trying to get the extra 4,000 litres and doing the stop and the start again, I'll empty at 30,000 litres. It just makes sense, which I think is probably something like 84% full, which we'll consider a full trailer, and we'll be able to get quite a few of them in. So once again, to save the waffle, we'll crack on, and we'll jump ahead until we have our first trailer load to go and sell, and we'll see how much we get for it. And we are coming up to our next hopper full. As you can see, as you count them as we go around, 1, 2, 3. We're on our fourth headland, I believe it is, as we're coming in here. Just a little bit shy. They might even be fifth. 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Fifth headland. So we've got one more to do of all of our headlands before we're ready. And it's already 11:30. In real time, at the top it tells you 10 o'clock. Just gone. I think we started just after, or just before 9 o'clock. Would you like to keep real time on? So yeah, we get these in, we get it sold. I did have a look, and it is 1,000, or just under 1,300. As a rule, you sell like green beans and peas and that sort of thing fresh, directly off the field. In the UK, we have a bit of a rule, like, or like what was it? Bird's eye peas, or whoever they are, like to advertise themselves as 2 hours from field to freezer, so locked in freshness. So that is also shown in game with the sales, unlike other crops where you harvest it now and then sell it 4 or 5 months time. You have a better price for it because obviously there's less of it about, because no one's got it because it's already been harvested. With the green beans, the peas, the spinach, you sell it as you harvest it for best price. I think September was actually the peak price, so we're like £100 less than that. So I think it might work out to be about 1,200 per thousand, but that still works out a little over 40 grand per trailer, and we're only doing it at 30, so you could get a little bit more in there. A little over 40 grand, which is good. Plus we'll get the environmental score as well, which in hindsight I now know is 5 grand, so it's like 46,000 per trailer. And this is where I was getting quite excited about how much money we were going to make, because I'd forgotten that we were leasing, and we had those leasing costs coming out. I'm going to say 10,000 for the hour, which is a lot. So we'll see our green beans going in, and we'll see our money being made. Lovely job. And up the top right, 41,154 and 5,511. So 46,500, which is really good. And that's just the headland. That's not the headland fully done yet, and that's just the headland, and that's for a trailer. So we could be looking at this point, I was thinking 3.5, 4 trailers, I was assuming. So yeah, like I said, I was quite buoyant on how much we were going to make off this. Like 140, 150,000 off a crop. We never make that off our crops. So, you know, wishful thinking, always wishful thinking. By the way, I think I've also worked out why my Highlands didn't show as Highlands when they were in the animal trailer, and also why I couldn't find them in the field. Despite having the pre-order, I hadn't actually installed and activated my pre-order. So although it was in the update of the game, they weren't physically in the game. So we'll try and remember to have a look later on. But I'm going to jump on and get this finished. So we now have our 4th hopper load, which gives us our 2nd trailer load ready to sell. And we look to be about halfway through the field, which is pretty good. But this is where I come to the realization that I definitely should have 2 of these machines. But if we have 2, I have a little bit of issue getting in and out of my vehicle at the minute. 2 of these machines, if we have 2, they're really expensive. Like for leasing, that'd be 40,000. Sorry, 20,000 an hour plus the other costs. I was just showing that it had 1.7, 1.8 hours on there, so we were coming up for 2 hours already, so it'd be like 20 grand coming out of this money. Like I say, it suddenly struck me that we weren't making the money I thought we were making. So yeah, so if we were to lease it, it'd cost us 20 grand an hour to harvest, which would be half of a trailer's worth. So financially, that's not that good. That's not that good at all. Plus initial outliers, plus daily costs. If you wanted to do it so we were buying the machinery at $500,000 a piece and needing 2, 3, maybe 4, and then also needing 2 more for peas, needing 2 more for spinach, you're looking at about, looking 4 million just for the machinery. So then you need the land to make that financially viable, because it's going to take a long time to recoup that in the crop. Although it sells quite well, it's not selling that well. Like, we'd need 4 fields or 4 harvests on 1 field to recoup 1 piece of machinery. So I think going forwards we'd look at it as, this is fun to do, this is good, but we need to have much larger fields, and we need to be in a much better position financially before we're going to be able to do this as a regular thing. We're going to have to go out and expand and do so much more before we can afford to buy a pea harvester for ourselves, or 2 pea harvesters for ourselves, 2 bean harvesters, 2 spinach harvesters. It's just so expensive. Fortunately, the red beet, we've got a small harvester that we can do that with. It's going to drop pallets. There's a, like I said earlier, there's a Bailey trailer that I'll probably be looking to get for that when we do that. Hopefully later on in this episode, if things go well. The Bailey trailer by Ross and Mods, it does have auto and manual loading, but it's the one that has the sides that raise up and down, so you just push your pallets into the back, and we can use it for bales if we want. Push them in there, and they'll be secure and quite safe. So I might look to get that. That might be the one we go for. But at least we can do those crops. That's financially viable for us to do that. But to keep doing more of this and more of these, I just don't think we're going to be making the money that we need to make. So yeah, this might be the last of the new vegetables that we do for a little while. But again, so I'm not constantly rambling on, I will move this forwards. We will get this done. I will bring you guys back when I'm at the end of this harvest, because that's where I'm up to. So I'll bring you guys back then. Hopefully, when we speak next, it's me in real time and I'm not having to add it in editing. So fingers crossed for that. So yeah, I'll crack on, and hopefully I'll be speaking to you in a little bit. Well, we are coming to the end of the green bean harvest. Hopefully we're coming to the end of the green bean harvest in real time, because I hate having to voice over in post. I'm just not good at it. It feels completely unnatural. But it is now August 2. It is midday. It has taken us some time. I harvested up until I think about 8:30, 9 o'clock, because I was hoping I could get it finished, but I wasn't anywhere near completing. So we did have to roll through another day. We did have to... Have I lowered my header? I have. You did have to roll through another day, do another payment. We are over 3.5 hours on this machine. So that's over 30 grand we've spent leasing this, which is almost one whole trailer of beans when we sell them. We have... I'm trying to think now. I've forgotten, because this is also another day now. I've moved on to another day. After the disaster of finding no audio in editing, I did not come back again that day. I'm hoping it's here now. I'm trying to think. How many loads did we deliver? Another one whole trailer, I think. And then we've got another empty in there. That's it, right? Yeah, 90,000 litres we've sold so far. So there's 15 in there, so that's 105. And then we've got 3.5 here, so 108,000 litres off the field, roughly. Isn't too bad. It's just that the machinery has been really, really costly. It really has. Now, I can't remember if I'm now going to get so confused. I can't remember if I spoke about this in the post yesterday, because I don't think I did, because I was thinking to myself in the evening, oh, that's what that big gap was, where I suddenly cut a load of time out. I was talking about the Mercedes trucks. With this sort of crop particularly, but also when we're selling other crops, it might be more time efficient and therefore cost efficient to have a truck with a larger trailer, something that's pulling, close to 60,000 litres, an articulated truck. Now, I had been looking at the Unimogs from the new Mercedes truck pack, but there isn't one that has a saddle hitch. There's the front hitches, there's the normal rear hitch, but there's not a saddle hitch, unfortunately. But there is a modded one that does have a saddle hitch, but I would prefer to use the DLC since I've got it. But there are some Mercedes Actros trucks in the Mercedes pack, obviously, which do work with articulated trucks. And so I was thinking, well, maybe we could get one of them, because in all my other... I'm going to take this back, by the way. In all my other trucking stuff, SnowRunner, we have an Actros. In ETS, we used an Actros for about 1.5 years. So maybe get an Actros on here and we can run that. I just think with these crops, where we're just going straight to sale, we might as well get as much of it and then go, rather than just a few, just a little bit of it and then going off for sale. Plus, since we're trying to remember to sell our other crops when they're at their best price, it might be better to do it that way as well. Because if not, I'm doing multiple little fills to try and load it at the farm, and then multiple smaller fills again to go and sell it. Whereas we could do, with a lot of the crops at the minute anyway, we could have done just one big 60,000 litre trailer, and that would have took our soybeans when we sold it, and it would have taken our corn when we sold it, rather than me going back and forth 3 or 4 times like I did. So yeah, it's not cheap. Again, something else is going to cost us a fair old bit, but something else to look into. But after this little experiment with the new vegetable crops, it'll probably be a while before we dabble back in them, just because the leasing cost is so expensive, and we really needed, just for that to feel a bit more efficient, especially for recording and content-wise, needed more than one of those. One of these Oxbows is good. I liked it. I liked the crop. I liked the harvest. It was good. It was fun to do different machinery. It was pretty smooth, easy to handle, turned quite nicely. Just the time to do that one field, I think it was over 4 hours harvesting those green beans, and we need more of them, and we need bigger fields of them. So it's going to get a lot. But I want to do, like I said, I want to do more. We've got to do all the crops anyway. So it just needs to be a bit further down the line when we've got a bit more money. Anyway, I want to return this, and then we'll sell the green beans. Now, I was a good customer. I paid £512 to repair it before returning. I paid £22,000 to repaint it. I got my 10 grand back. There was another deduction of like, I don't know, so many pounds and pennies for something else, like 50 odd quid or 150 odd quid. But the cheek of it charged me 3.5 grand to wash it. I've just brought myself a washer. I could have saved myself that. So I don't know if I maybe don't need to do the repair. I can't remember what it is I have to repair and repaint and rewash. Surely I don't have to repair everything when I take it back, because 22 grand was a lot, because that's just taken a massive chunk out of, again, out of the income from the harvest. So if you think 30 odd grand, so it's 50 grand, over 50, because the other little incursions as well, like 50,000 to lease that. That's more than one trailer. And we've sold 3, and we've now got a half trailer to go in. But we'll have a look at the finances once we're done with this. We'll see how much we're up. So 485, we've got 25,000 and 3,500 for that respectively. But if we come in and have a little look at August, vehicle running costs, 22 grand, vehicle leasing costs, it's nearly 60,000. So 100 grand we made. What did we sell in July? We sold our other crops, didn't we? Didn't sell any of the hay or anything. I suppose that's not too bad. It's not too bad. I just want all the money. That's all. I'm just a bit greedy. Oh, while we're up there, shall we just have a little look and see if there's any good animals for sale? Don't want the bulls. Have we got any? They're not bad. That's not bad. Right. We do need help getting through that crap feed I made. Not good. I don't want water buffalo. Oh, another good Highland. Right, so if we buy selected, yeah, excellent, 5 grand there. Hopefully our Highlands are now visible. And again, I can't remember if I mentioned it in the re-record or not, but I'd obviously I had the Highlands expansion, but I hadn't actually downloaded or activated. Oh, I downloaded it. I hadn't actually moved it into the game files and activated the DLC. So I think the game was recognised in Highlands because they'd gone in through the update, but weren't physically showing them. Well, they still don't seem to be here. We've got a flying one up there. Not physically showing them. I just got to see one in the field. No. Well, they're in here, and they're feeding, so they're working in that sense. So just taking a little look at our soil composition, and I'm not sure if it's always after the veggie crops, or whether it's just because it's due on its rotation now, because we do have periodic ploughing turned on. But that field needs a ploughing, and we wanted to plough it anyway because I wanted to adjust some of the boundaries on it. So we have set up our worker. They'll get in on that, doing the plough. We're going to use our angled plough. We're going to use our naughty plough for when we're doing field creation. I might use the naughty plough to tidy up after the worker is finished here. But if we have a little look, this is going to take 4 hours for Courseplay to do this. So that's why Courseplay is doing it. we're going to go and do something a bit more fun. Because if I can remember where I've put it, we are going to go and harvest our red beet. Now, I've got to be careful not to do another 4 hours of recording, because I won't have the time for it. Where have I... It's down the end here. Yeah. At least I know that the first half of this video is, or this episode is, like 25 minutes. So, it gives me a rough idea of how long I should be doing this second part. So if this does turn out to be a really long episode, I do apologise. I've just clearly gotten carried away. Now, with this, I'm going to need the controls up. I'll come out of cab in a second. I just like being in cab. Right. Very narrow pickup, just down the side. If you've not seen one of these before, these are absolutely awesome. But I need... buy new box. Is that not on? It's not. So at some point I might have to look to see if I can get that put on a thing. So buy new. Is that not that? Do we have to unfold it? There we go. That's how we drop it. Okay. Let's turn it on. Lower it. Hold it again. Sometimes... Ooh, go on there. That's the worker. Sometimes I have these things already pre-mapped and I just don't know where I've put them. But it doesn't appear that we have. Okay, so we'll have to do that every time, which is absolutely fine. We'll not do it yet. Right. So, we will go over to the far field. To be fair, I bet that worker is finished before I'm finished. Will we go to the far field? Yeah, we'll go to the far field. I need to repaint my grass because this one doesn't grow any longer. Get our beets. Now. I should imagine the GPS does work for this. Right, but we're going to give it a go ourselves. So now we buy a new box. So each box is going to cost us 130. I'm sure in 22 the boxes cost 100. Have they gone up because of inflation? So a new box will appear. You can buy the boxes, and I think you can just... and they cost the same, I think. But you can buy the boxes and then load them on manually. But it makes more sense to do it this way, because then you can just slap one on when you're ready. So we'll turn that on. And we'll get halves. And we're getting in our red beets. There they come. Now, on 22, on my private save of Zaloinka, I spent so many hours doing these crops like this. I absolutely loved it. But it is time consuming. But I think this is great. Absolutely great. We did have a little series on Zaloinka as well, but that wasn't very popular, despite my love for that map. And we did quite a bit of veggie cropping on that, and I just spent days and days digging up carrots and parsnips. It was brilliant. Absolutely brilliant. But there is a single row. I don't know, I felt sure that there was a double row, or maybe that was a mod, or maybe I'm just hopeful wishing. But I felt sure there was a larger one of these that did the boxes. Now, I think I've got narrows on, so I would be able to go up the field, and I'm not sure even because it's a root crop whether it cause any sort of damage anyway. but we are going to just lap up and down to try and save any crop damage. Now, we used to try, because you'll see here, there is no crop, but we are getting crop. Then we'll gather a little bit from the other side. Secret crop. But yeah, I used to try and drive down the middle and get 2 of them at a time. But actually, because I'd done so many of them, I found that I was losing more crop because you'd end up losing this invisible crop, which is just off to the edge. So if I was to drive down the partition, although it would remove the crop like that, we're not actually getting the crop out. It's just taking away the foliage. But knowing that we need to do these big loops is why I've planted them and created these fields as they are. I might pan out a little. Do I want to pan out a little bit more? I don't know, because I need to be able to see. But yeah, with my slow grindy style, you can probably see why I absolutely love doing this. Oh dear. Just a sucker for the punishment. Glutton for it. But I just think this is so cool. I really do like this. And I like the concept of packing away crops. Like I'd love to do it on a series where we boxed up all of our crops. Like when we do potatoes, we might box the potatoes anyway. We might look to box or bag or whatever a lot of the root crops regardless. Now we are just gonna put that down. I've got to remember, how do we get it off? Anyone remember? Unload box. There we go. Not anywhere near where I thought it was. Okay. So will that get me a new box? No. I still have to do the box there, which is fine. But I think this is freaking awesome. Absolutely love it. Oh, going down the middle, getting the 2. Don't want to because we're missing crop under tyre. Now there are machines that will do this a lot quicker, a lot more efficient. Once we've maybe got a few more of these plots set up, we'll look to do that. We will look to get some sort of cannery in place and to make this more profitable. Although I think these sell pretty well. As a rule, I think they do sell alright. But we do want to be able to do some sort of production with them, really. There's the end of my field. There we are. So what I'm going to do is I'll crack on with this, because I can't imagine you guys want to watch me harvest 2 of these whole fields. I'm going to crack on with this, and I will bring you back probably at the end of one. I'll do one field. I'll bring you guys back once I've harvested one field, and you can see the amount of boxes we've got, and yeah, we'll have some more fun trying to load them onto a trailer maybe. Oh, I love it. I love making it awkward and hard. See you in a bit. So it is it's a new day. We're in August 3 now. I tell you what, these August harvests for these crops are going to take us a long time. We might have to add extra days into August and September just so we can do them all. So we've been going for quite a while here. Just back this up, unload this one. We have pallets of red beet absolutely everywhere. Absolutely everywhere. And around. Down here, we've got down there. Go across, we've got loads over there. I had to step away for a little bit, come back in. Had to, had to have a little stretch. Takes a while. But I thought, it's going to take me forever to clear this whole field. So it'll be tomorrow until I'd be able to come back and finish this episode. So I thought what we'd do is, I'm part way through. We've got enough pallets to fill a trailer. So we'll buy a new trailer, the trailer I want to get, and we'll bring the Merlot over, and we'll try and pack some of this away, just so we can have see a little bit of, show what we're doing, show what you're doing. Now, with this, you find you're turning the camera a lot and doing different things, right? I often go, once I get in the swing of it, I go mobile mode. Have you ever played Farm Sim Mobile? This is the way to play Farm Sim on mobile. Or the old ones anyway, I don't know about the new ones. The new ones are like the same as the Switch game, aren't they? But FS Mobile, top down. The easiest way to do this. Stay in your row. Make use of the camera, I say. Full advantage. Up and down. It is a little bit jarring on the eyes, I will admit. But I find this more efficient than constantly having to move the camera around and doing other things. Still drift off sometimes. But, yeah, you get through it. You get them done. I think we've got well over 20 pallets already. So many. So many. And obviously we've got bits we've missed. And some of the areas where there's no foliage, there'll be our invisible crop where it's just not picked it up yet. You often find that you just do a little sweep at the end and try and get the rest of it. I did notice. Is that going to fill for me? Oh, not quite enough. I did notice where I've loaded back in, some of my foliage texture has disappeared. I mean, that's not the worst thing in the world. But I like it all sprinkled with foliage leaves. So where is this bit we've missed, and we can go and get that. That'll help to fill our box and give us a box over here. Come on. That should be enough, I think. There we go. Right. So, we'll drop that one down. And we will, if it'll allow me, because I'm going to need this. Actually, I might not actually. I think, if I turn it off, I think our Merlot actually has a trailer hitch on the back, doesn't it? Let's go have a look. Yeah, I think this... I'm sure we did. I did a little series on 22 just for the channel members. And we pulled... Actually, we did this exact combo on there, I think. The combo that I'm now about to do. This Bailey trailer. I'm sure this is Bailey trailer we used. And the Merlot. Doing baling. Not doing pallets. So let's see if we can get this to go. Got some milk from our goats are coming. Yeah, this is probably a really, really long episode. So yeah, I do apologise, but these are really long jobs. So I'm trying to show as much as I can. It would have been even longer if I hadn't had to do the first half again, commentary-wise, because I was chatting a hell of a lot more than what I do when I have to put it in post. So yeah, I've said it before. I tip my hat to anyone that adds their commentary in after recording. I don't know how you do it. I don't know how you chat so freely about the stuff. I just feel really awkward doing it because you have the hindsight of no one was coming. Like, it's just... Whereas I like not knowing, and I like make a mess of things. Knowing that I'm going to make a mess of things isn't as fun. So we want to go to... I think it's under Bale Trailers. Where's that? Here we go. And it's this one. The Bale and Pallet Trailer 18. This is the one I want. Now, it has the auto-load option. I'm going to take that, but we're not going to go around scooping them up. I'm going to open it, and then we're going to deliver in, and then it'll just stack them on there nice and tidy for me. That's how we're going to do it. Decals. Does it put the yellow stripe on? It does. I do like that. Tension belts. We will have them because we'll want them when we're not using them. I'm not always going to use the auto load, but just for this we will, just to speed this one up a bit. And we shall buy that. And while we're up here, we'll also get ourselves the pallet fork. I thought we could change the colour on this. Never mind. We will we'll buy that. So we'll get our forks on. Then hopefully this will hook up. I'm sure we did this combo on 22, or it was a trailer very similar to this. But I'm sure we can get this on here. We can. Glorious. Glorious. I like that. You know we've been harvesting the red beet for a while. The cosplay worker has done a really good job on the ploughing already. I should imagine they're going to be finished soon, which is good because then once I've finished doing harvesting this field, they can come over and they can plough that for me while I harvest the other one. Get things going, have it rolling, so we can move on to something different for the next episode. I should imagine we'll be doing some planting. I think planting, because it'll definitely be in September when we come back. It's going to take me another 2 or 3 days at least. It will probably be mid-September. It'll take me 2 or 3 days to finish this harvesting and doing some ploughing and what have you. We'll get that in, get that done. Where shall we? We'll take it right down since we've got to do it. We don't want it right on top because I need to give myself plenty of room to actually move about and oh no, I need to open it, don't I? So if we, ooh, is it on the, no. How do we, there we are, found it. So I want to, okay, I'm not very good at the auto load stuff, so that'll probably go all wrong. So we'll reset bale position. Right position. No, that is how it wants to be. Okay, excellent. I think that's how I say excellent. This could all go wrong. We're going to have pallets floating in the air or something. Now the maneuvering of the load once it's auto on there is controlled the same, like you have to use the right click on the mouse, but that opens up course play, so we'll probably just have to unpack straight away onto there. Right, are we low enough? Are we too low? Cannot see. Let's find a pallet I can see into. The grass is too long. Why are we not getting in there? As everyone's judged my positioning, it should be alright. Oh, nowhere near low enough. Right. So it wants to be just, I was just looking at it because I got the angles down at the bottom. I was just looking at what angle that wants it to be at, and it was sort of 6 there. Again, funny camera angles for you. Enjoy. So, how is this going to take them? If it takes them at all, this might go all wrong. I might need to have a tractor attached there or something. I don't know. Still sliding forwards. Huh. Okay. Wasn't expecting that. Do I need a tractor attached to it? Bear with me. Too funny. I was then saying how the worker was getting on well as I tabbed through. It's the worker. Oh dear. Well, I had a little fiddle with it for a few minutes, and I think maybe the auto load is only for bales, which isn't a problem, because I'm happy to do this. Again, it just takes me longer to do, and I am really out of practice. This is the sort of thing I used to like doing. And I still do like doing it, but you know what I mean? I used to like doing it, the sort of thing I did a lot. So we'll, yeah, we'll get a few of these on. We'll see how good I can go for a few minutes anyway. See if we can find a pallet that will go on. Lovely. Yeah, it's all right. It doesn't matter that it's not auto load for the pallets. It might be. I might just be getting it wrong. If you know, because sometimes I think I have so many bloody mods on that all the controls don't show up and show me what I need to do anyway, and then we get conflicting controls of different things. So yeah, but I've got a feeling this is auto load for bales only. So I'll have to just put things on and then do what I often do, just tidy it up by hand. But we'll do the most of it by sticking it on the best we can. So on that little bombshell, that little letdown, but not the worst thing in the world, I will finally call it time on this episode. Probably well over an hour, and I do apologise. I apologise for the first bit going wrong audio-wise. I apologise for me being me and not being able to get anything right. But I'm now going to spend the rest of my day. It's now coming up for 11 o'clock. I'm going to spend the rest of my day moving my boxes and harvesting my crops. Has that gone in? Why are you not going in? Come on. Underneath it. Oh no, we're rolling downhill now. Where's my... I don't know. Sometimes I just make my life so bloody hard. As if my life isn't hard enough at the best of times. Gone in too quick. Right, get in there. That's it. Don't drive on the crops. We need all them. That's money, that is, mate. That's money. Yeah, I'm going to leave it here. So, hopefully, some of this you will have enjoyed. If you have, give a big fat thumbs up down below. If you are new to the channel, hit the subscribe button, turn the bell notification on, find out when new videos are going live. As always, comments and feedback down there. Anything I've messed up entirely, anything I've missed, anything I've skipped, just let me know. And eventually, I might get good, as the youth say. But I doubt it. I think I'll always be me. Massive thank you to the channel members. Your support is greatly appreciated, as always. Don't forget, guys, if you want, come join Discord. We've got Discord, plenty of people in there, chatting about different things, multiple types of games and things going on. Share your stuff, all good. Also got a Facebook page if you want to go find that. Links are all down in the descriptions. You guys have a wonderful day. Hopefully, I will see you again very soon. Bye-bye.